Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to Javier at the Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler in Bountiful for letting me know that they have a Grand Wagoneer. If you want to order one, then just reach out to Javier again at the Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler in Bountiful, Utah. And then also another side shout out to the team at Jeep. They actually gave me a full walk around with a group of people on the Grand Wagoneer. So I actually got kind of an in-depth look at the vehicle before reviewing it, which is not typically what I get, and so I think that was really cool. So again, a shout out to the guys at Jeep for giving that to me. And yeah, with all that being said, let's just get right into the video. Now let's go over the Grand Wagoneer, and let me tell you, this thing has some presence in person. First off, we've got indentations on either side of the hood. I think that looks great. You've got that accent piece there in the center, Range Rover-esque, let me say that. Got these projector bulbs with the LED accent lights, and then notice how we have the signature Jeep grille with the Wagoneer logo, but notice that they did a polished look for the metal, so it looks a lot more premium. And then we've got the fog lights down below with some parking sensors integrated. Look how nice those tow hooks look, and just look at all the textures here on the front end. Lots going on, but again, it gives it that nice premium look. We've got a sensor there in the center, and then we have the night vision camera off to the side right there. Really nice with the integration, because, I mean, you guys can see once you see the whole thing, you don't really notice it. Now, I love the wheel design, and something that's really cool with the Grand Wagoneer is they offer a million different wheel options. So, yeah, anything you'd want. Now, this does have the air suspension, and that's going to help out with the ride quality and mass amount, and then obviously give it some adjustability. You've got a Grand Wagoneer logo, and then you can see the mirror right there with the camera there at the bottom. And yeah, like I said, a million different wheel options, so I think that's pretty cool they're offering that. Now, popping here to the back, you've just got the button right there to open up the rear hatch. It is power operable, and then also you can set it to open up at lower heights if you want. And then also we've got the cargo cover back here, and then we've got the netting also put in, and you can see one of the speakers for the Macintosh sound system. Now we've got these for the seats, so the second row you can just lower them down. The third row you can lower and raise with those buttons, and that'll kind of give you obviously more storage space. Now the carpeting is actually really nice, and it's thick, which is cool. It actually apparently helps with pet hair, and then you guys can see more stuff underneath there. But yeah, it apparently makes it so you can clean out pet hair a lot easier. And then that is the button right there to lower it down. But again, you can set the rear hatch to open up at basically lower angles if you want. So if you're in a parking garage or something like that. Now the back end looks really good in person. I was worried. I'm serious. I was worried. And something I want to mention is the reason I'm tapping on the glass is to remind myself to tell you it has acoustic glass, which is pretty cool. Got the Grand Wagoneer logo, and then you guys can see with the badging again, looks really premium. And down below, got the exhaust tip, and then you've got the bezel covering the receiver hitch right there with the parking sensors. But yeah, like I said, I was worried about the styling in the back end. It looks great in person. Now, coming to the interior, this is just the real showstopper. So beautiful materials everywhere. And also notice with the side steps, they also integrated them very nicely, so it takes a second for them to pop back in. But once they pop back in, you guys can see they're really flush with the bodywork. Doesn't even look like it has side steps when they're closed. But yeah, really nice materials with the seats. You can see we've got the full leather. You've got the really nice piping and the stitching, and you can see the perforated leather. And then look at the screens you get here in the back. And I will show you guys a quick screen demo later on in the video. But something else to mention, the third row, you can fit pretty tall people back there. There was a guy that was 6'5" or 6'6", and he sat back there, and he seemed like he had plenty of space. So from a seating capacity perspective, it's going to be really solid. But yeah, those screens are awesome. You can't remove them or anything like that, but you can do a bunch of stuff and again, you guys will see the screen demo later. And then also, the rear passengers get their own center console. It's kind of funny, but yeah, fancy stuff. And that remote is for the screen if you guys were wondering. And then you guys can see the sunroof right there. Now, popping over here to the front, you can see the door panel is just as beautiful. And apparently this is the same wood as what they use in the Rolls Royces. So really high quality stuff. If you have a chance to get your hands on a Grand Wagoneer, touch it. Just like in Mercedes fashion, right? In Range Rover fashion, you've got the adjustments on the side of the door panel. And then you can see all the controls, and then another speaker for the Macintosh sound system. Got the Wagoneer logo, and then look how just pillowy the headrest is. And then these seats are so comfortable, so beautiful. And again, really remind me of the high-end Range Rovers. And you can see just everything from a design perspective looks fantastic. I love the coloration on everything, and you can see just how crystal clear the screens are. And look at the steering wheel, nice stitching around the airbag cover even, just All of the material use is fantastic. And of course, you've got all of your practical car controls, similar to what you have on like the Grand Cherokee L in terms of what it looks like. And then you can see the massive infotainment system right there in the center. We did the Aurora Borealis screen right there, which has a cool music chime with it. You can see all the adjustments on the seats. And yes, they are massaging as well. So they're heated, cooled, and massaging. Pretty cool stuff. And you can see all the different drive modes that this comes with. Sorry, my camera didn't want to focus because it's in a showroom and the lighting's kind of spotty whenever you're in showrooms. And then also the center console is actually cooled, which is another cool feature, if you see what I did there. But yeah, it stays really cool. If you guys are wondering, even if you don't have the car on, the insulation with it is great. And then you guys can see here at the top, you've got the full panoramic sunroof, premium headliner as well. And then we do have the camera mirror. You guys know I'm a huge fan of that. I've got it in my TRX. Absolutely love it from a safety perspective. And I kind of show you guys the headliner right here, and it goes down onto the pillars. Something else to mention, even the grab handles have leather around them. Like everything in this vehicle is soft touch, looks amazing, feels amazing. Like it's just solid from every single aspect. And here's kind of like another look at everything so you guys can see. And sorry about like the camera not wanting to focus again. It's kind of hard when you're in lower light. One thing that is interesting though is the pedals. They're just kind of like normal plastic pedals. But again, this is a pre-production car, so it has some things that won't necessarily be in the full production version. Like the full production version will actually be a little bit nicer, believe it or not, which is crazy to think about. Now under the hood, we've got the naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi, goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission, good for 471 horsepower, 455 pound-feet of torque. You guys can see pretty bad boy engine. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this is as nice as it is as a pre-production car, I'm really excited to see the full production unit with everything kind of like buttoned down. But yeah, there's the Grand Wagoneer, and let's get in the screen. Now, here's a quick demo on one of the screens there in the back of the Grand Wagoneer, and shout out to the guy from Jeep that was helping me out with filming this. But yeah, you can watch movies, YouTube. I mean, you guys can see all the stuff that you can do here on the screens in the rear, and then you can even save stuff to the screen. So if you don't have Wi-Fi for some reason, like you're out in the middle of nowhere, then if you have a movie saved to it, then your kids can still watch it, which is pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I just think, yeah, overall, like it's just crazy, all the stuff this comes with, the technology, the luxury, everything. And yeah, there's a screen. So I kind of just want to give my final thoughts here on the Grand Wagoneer as a vehicle. So first off, exterior wise, it looks a lot better in person than it does in pictures. I was kind of concerned about the back end from pictures and videos. It just didn't really look all that good, but in person, the proportions are great. And yes, it is bigger than a Grand Cherokee L, and it is bigger than a Dodge Durango. It's built off of the Ram 1500 platform. Well, it's a modified version of that platform, if you guys were wondering. But yeah, exterior looks a lot better in person, so yeah, you need to see one in person if you have a chance. Now, aside from the exterior, interior, the thing that was just absolutely crazy to me was the fact that it was so nice considering the price point. Yes, it's over 6 figures, but like I've reviewed vehicles, aka Range Rovers, that are like $200,000 and they have like a very similar interior, and obviously that's what Jeep was going for, and I definitely think they accomplished it. Like it definitely has that like Range Rover feel, and I'm talking about like an SV autobiography that's $230,000. Like yeah, crazy stuff. So I think they've absolutely nailed it. I did not get drive time with it yet. I'm super excited to see how that drives. You guys know I'm a huge fan of that DT platform because it rides really smooth with the trucks. And so the fact that they did the independent suspension with the Grand Wagoneer, I think it's going to be even smoother. And then also obviously the air suspension. So yeah, I'm super excited to get a chance to drive it when I do. But yeah, just initial impressions with walking around it. It is so nice, and I have a comparison video between that and an Escalade coming soon, but like, I guess spoiler alert, like, it's gonna kill the competition.